Welcome to the fourth episode of Beneath the Kotatsu. My name is James, and with me here is my co-host.
Hey everybody, it's on, I guess. Yeah.
Forgetting your name this week. It is
Yep.
the fourth week. All
Yeah.
right, so this week we wanted to talk about a few things, but most importantly is something we've been salivating over the idea of for years, especially when we were in our early years of watching anime. Starlink was recently uh, announced to be having the beta participants. Uh, Did they say how much it was going to cost for the beta entry?
It's gonna be $100 plus a $500 fee for the satellite. So overall, it's gonna be $600 with a $100 bill every month. So that doesn't sound too bad. I mean, it's still very expensive for the for most people. But once they actually start getting bigger, okay. So when Starlink first was announced, I think their big thing was global internet for everyone. Like they plan to have internet for everyone like at like I think they might do like a 1 megabit um rate for free for everyone around the world is what I think they're trying to do.
That would be nice, but I don't see how they could do free because the cost of having satellites up there is, they're not permanent, they're temporary. I think they said like 6 years or something like that for a satellite.
Um I I don't know how exactly it works, but if you think about it, it's a lot cheaper for them to send satellites up into space compared to other companies because they own their own space
Rocket system.
company. Yeah,
Yeah.
like their own rocket company. So I mean that makes sense, right?
Yeah, they've
Like
been
they're
through the heartache of having crashes. I mean, they still have crashes, but that's with the newer models.
I mean they just had a crash like not like I think less than a week ago from this recording.
Yep.
But I mean that's what Elon was planning was to give global internet to everyone, which I think it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna enable a lot more people to get on the internet, and with that, with that surge of people, we're gonna start seeing a lot more people joining the anime community, which I'm actually pretty happy about. Compared to what we had to endure endure in our childhood. Oh my
Man, I
gosh.
don't know about you, but I did some really bootleg things to get anime back in the day.
I I concur. I concur because I mean back then our there was very few ways to get anime. The only way you'd really be able to see anime is to like stay up till like 1 or 2 o'clock. You
That
know,
was if you had cable. I did not. I had the Saturday morning route or weekly morning. They had morning cartoons back then before I went to school, and I would sometimes skip school because Dragon Ball Z, for whatever reason, liked Terra at the same time my bus arrived.
wait. So if you didn't even catch the bus, you just never went to school.
Nah, I'd make my dad take me, but he's like, "What the fuck, dude? How'd you miss? It's right there. It's like two houses down from the house."
Oh my god. I mean, if you technically walked, how long would it take you to get to school?
Oh, way too long. Probably an hour. I was a little kid.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh my
it's
gosh.
far.
Oh,
Walking,
so
it's
so
far.
they always like aired it in between like your like what when was the airing time for you?
I remember like 6:30, I believe. Ronin Warriors would come on, and I would always like try to stay awake for that, but I would always fall asleep. There's also a Highlander cartoon that came right before it. That was my brother's jam. And like the biggest part of Ronin Warriors I remember is just like the transformation scenes. It was like kind of like a male version of Sailor Moon. So that's basically what I think it was because they pushed the toys really heavy back then for that
I've
show.
actually never seen the toy. Like maybe it's because I was blinded because I've never seen it. So I
Ronin Warriors is also known as Samurai Troopers. They only had one launch of blister packaged toys for that. They had them in places like Target, Walmart. It was
I,
thinking
I
back, it's
probably didn't
crazy
even
that
see
they
it.
had that.
I probably didn't even see it because like if I haven't watched this show, like as a kid, like if you haven't really watched the show, you don't really focus on a certain toy if you haven't seen it, on TV. So
Oh, dude, I remember going to the store, making my dad take me to Target to go buy one. And there's like one toy left of the red dude, and I saw my best friend there and like hid it behind my back because I got super territorial of it, thinking he would take it from me.
Oh my god.
I know, and then I took it for a show and tell. Kids were trying to like trade their shitty McDonald's toys, and I like looked down on them like some Ojo-sama with real hair.
It's
Doing
it's
the little
it's
hand sign to cover my mouth.
it's like bringing your actual like Nendroid or whatever like full size figure that everyone else has like a Funko Pop.
Yeah, that's basically what it was. And I literally went on eBay the other day to look it up, and it looked really bad. I don't know how my kid self thought it was a really good toy.
I mean when you have one of your favorite toys as a kid, I think that like you kind of like what do you call it? You zone out like how like when
You
when
don't
when I
know.
when you think of when I'm saying that like you ever like think back to like old games you used to play and then you go back and play them it's like oh man this game was shit.
Yeah, games that didn't age great, Xenosaga. I'll still play the hell out of it. It just doesn't look as good as I thought it did.
Like I thought uh Zelda like the original Zelda for the N64 like in my head it looked like a full fantasy game but then when I went back to play it I was like oh yeah this is just pure 3 like it doesn't hold up to what my memory of it was but the gameplay is still good for it so I still play it sometimes.
Yeah, it's kind of
um
like when you're a little kid, like just in general in real life, the
mhm.
world is such a bigger place, and then when you grow up, everything feels smaller because you're looking down a lot more. You cast a bigger shadow, and that's kind of how it is for games you play and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, most definitely. So quickly going back going back to like
Original
the
topic, we went on a
yeah the
toy
original
tangent.
topic.
I did.
I mean it's a it's a decent tangent. I mean it goes close to our childhoods and stuff like that regarding like ways to get anime. But I mean for me I think it was just Adult Swim was pretty much like the go-to for most people because that's when they aired like Bleach and Naruto and stuff like that. I think Naruto um, transferred out of Adult Swim into Toonami, or maybe it was Toonami to start with, and then
It
after
was Toonami
Toonami,
to start with, then it was Adult Swim, and then later on they revived Toonami after Adult Swim, and that's what they have currently, I believe.
okay, yeah,
Or no,
yeah,
actually they
because
only have that on Saturday nights, I believe.
yeah, and then if you're very lucky, you also got anime on the Sci-Fi Channel, which blew my mind.
Yeah,
I
I
I
didn't have cable growing up. I remember the one time we figured out that you could just put a coax cable to the cable box conveniently located in my backyard. M- I watched so much many cartoons and anime that my eyes hurt for like 2 days straight.
wait, so you
That's no
you
joke.
legit stole cable?
Yeah, we stole cable. That's how I watched Gundam Wing for the first time and blew my mind.
Oh my god. Oh,
But
I'm
anyway, you were
surprised I
saying?
never found out, but well, what was I even talking about?
My bootleg, my my ghetto anime viewing experience trumped
Oh,
your experience.
I mean, I had the normal like anime experience with like Cowboy Bebop, Trigun, Bleach, all that good stuff, But it's like back then, like getting anime was just like yeah, unless you're watching like the big, the big animes they always aired in Yasha and stuff like that. I really wanted to like expand out to see different animes, and really the only place I could do that was like the library, and libraries back then they're not optimized as they are like today. Like libraries back then, you get maybe at most like maybe 1 or 2 megabits, and keep in mind that even though anime back then was a lot smaller, like I've been seeing a trend where anime have been getting like bigger and bigger in file size. Like they used to be like what 200 megabytes, and now they're like 1 gig for a 1080p anime, and
I would
I'm
say
just
1.25 gigs, 1.3 is very common that I've been seeing these days.
they're pretty big. Like did you ever download animes like in your childhood?
Yeah, it was like 300 megabytes. Fully Cooley was the first one. I think those were like 128 megabytes.
Like I could remember like you could download a whole season of an anime for less than 1 gig, and I know the file size is probably smaller, like maybe it was like 720 or whatever compared to the 1080, but it's kind of crazy how each episode nowadays is over a gig. It's rare. Yeah, the process to make anime and the animation style is way better, and I guess you don't want to lose any of that detail when you're watching like anime, like, um, but it just blows my mind how big anime have gotten. Like, I've like you have to buy like a separate drive or whatever if you ever want to store anime because it's just so big. Um, but regarding that, I'll share one of my stories,
Go ahead.
like regarding animes because okay, so I wanted to watch. I don't know. I don't remember what anime it was. It might be like it may be Negima or like some anime in that realm. Um, and I really wanted to watch like the first episode or whatever. So I go down to my local library and I look up this anime and they had a download for it, right? And the download and this file size was like 400 megabits for the first episode. And I was like, 400? That's crazy. So I tried downloading it, right? And by God, on this library, it was gonna take like maybe 8 hours or something. And keep in mind, like this library closes in like like 6 hours or something. So I was like, okay, well, what if I keep my USB here overnight and then go come pick it up like in the morning?
Oh my God, did you really do that? Nobody took it?
No, because okay, I was planning to, but it downloaded like faster than expected, you know? Um and I got the anime like or the episode and I took it home, right? And my dumbass kid self, right? When I plugged it in, it was in like a different file format, and I didn't know I don't know what file formats were back then, right? I thought, oh, you just plug a video in and it'll just play whatever video you want, right? It was in a separate file format, um that I guess you had like to download like a separate media player to play, and I didn't know that. I thought like, oh, you know, any video can play on like you don't need any codecs. You don't what are even codecs? So you know,
I
you
remember
just
there was like a CCCP, like a Russian looking audio codec pack that you had to download.
I still use it. I still use it to this day. But you technically don't need to. Like VLC will pretty much play every video type you want.
Yeah, that was
Um.
like on top of VLC though when I was
Oh
watching
yeah.
anime.
I mean, like nowadays, all most animes are kind of compressed through like the same the video like files. Like you'll usually get it in like MP4 or like I think VLC has its own like extension or something like that. Most animes will have its own, you know, like will share the same extension because I think they're trying to take like the most lossless route when they're trying to compress their animes. But so yeah, so my dumbass self got this anime, took it home, and wasn't able to play it, and I was super mad because I literally stayed at the library for 6 hours, and by God, I was on the computer like I would kill to be on the computer for a while, but you know how like library computers it's very limited to like what site you can visit. So I'm just over here like trying to read stupid articles because they pretty much block all the good stuff. Like there's no videos or anything like that.
Yeah, uh, I mean back then for me they still hadn't figured out filters to be honest with you, but I never got the idea to use uh, the library to download anime. It didn't even occur to me. I like had a super ghetto desktop that I bought at some trader's market, and I was so desperate for internet that I bought like $100 Wi-Fi antenna card, and I popped that puppy and installed my neighbors from down the street's internet. They left it unlocked. I was like, thank God somebody leaves their internet unlocked.
Oh yeah, I think like oh the good days when people leave their internet unlocked. I think it's very hard to find that now because most routers you buy
by
nowadays will,
default.
yeah, by default will come with like a preset password and it's pretty locked. But yeah, the good old days when Netgear and all that like Belkin had like unlocked routers.
I know. I remember marathoning Eureka 7 for the first time. This was back when I was only watching in English
Hmm.
because I was like, I don't want to freaking read this garbage. Why would I read when I could just hear it? and and this is like before, like I wonder if I can watch this in Spanish because I remember watching Dragon Ball Z in Spanish because it came on channel, what was it in Houston, channel 48, some Telemundo channel, and it was really good voice acting compared to the English. I was like, huh, I
Really?
wonder how this sounds in the original, and then I heard it in Japanese and my mind was blown. I was like, oh my god, this is just as good. It's the same accent and everything. And
Oh
like
yeah,
I
like
just
I remember. Yeah, I remember the first time I watched like an anime in Japanese.
yeah,
Like it, like it's fair to say that a lot of old animes, like their voice acting talent was pardon one of the best. Like I don't know why anime voice acting today is just so trash.
I
Like
wouldn't say it's trash. You know what it is? It's like when you watch a kung fu movie and it's supposed to be in Mandarin or Cantonese, whatever language they use,
mhm, mhm.
and then you watch it in English and you see it's not synced up correctly.
Yeah, I know they have to
Yeah,
like sync up the mouth movements, but keep in mind they had to do that too to anime back then. It was just a lot better. Like let's say Cowboy Bebop, they did such a great job with Cowboy Bebop.
Evangelion as well. I'd still
Yeah,
attest is one of the best dubs they've made ever.
yeah, it's very hard pressed to find good dubs like with anime today. It just feels like it's probably because they're rushing. They're rushing like these anime because there's so much more animes coming out compared to back then. Like back then you had like maybe a handful of like IPs that they could buy and then voice over and then they had plenty of time to do that. Now like Crunchyroll and the simulcast releases,
Yeah.
you have to churn these out like in maybe maybe 2 weeks or something like that.
Unless you're Netflix and they just air it at the end of the season.
Oh yeah, but still like I don't know why just American voice acting isn't as good. Like I feel like they get like the same like four girls to do all the characters for like all the harems,
I
like you know
used
what I
to
mean?
think that back in '07, '08, but I there's a lot more people voice acting these days, I would say. So there's
Yeah,
a lot
I
more
mean there's a
people to
lot of
choose
like
from.
yeah, I mean there's a lot of celebrity voice actors too. Like people who start out as like big in the anime like um videos and stuff like that, and then they get into voice acting because I'm in the anime sphere, so I'm gonna try my my thing with voice acting. And in Japan, I don't think you would ever see that because you'd have to go to like a legit school to voice act.
Yeah,
So
super
it's
competitive.
yeah, it's a very competitive market for voice acting. Um, but
Anyways, I
I
did want to mention that, sorry for cut you off,
yeah, go.
that I remember the exact two anime that I made the transition from sub, sorry, dub to sub. That's because they only had up to like episode 20 of Bleach dubbed, and they only had
Yeah.
uh up to episode 33 dubbed on whatever pirate site I was watching. I think it was either VO or something like that, and they were all in, disorganized, not in order. Whoever uploaded it had a terrible naming scheme. And I was like, oh, what? Do the Japanese have it in all the way to 60 or whatever? And then I just
Oh,
like, oh, my, so many nights of, not sleeping and then going to school and then falling asleep at school. Yeah.
I don't think I've ever like was able to binge an anime all the way through because I've never gotten like good internet like until I was actually in high school. Like
Oh, I didn't have good internet. You want to know what I did? I would
what?
like sit there, I would press pause on an episode of Eureka 7, and I would wait for it to buffer.
Oh my
And
God,
my
you're a
connection,
buffer watcher. Yeah,
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 I was
yeah.
like, I was watching the little bar go by, so like a 20-minute episode of that made legitimately took like 40 minutes to watch. And I would just sit there, I was like, please, God, don't. and then sometimes the connection would drop, and I would just like refresh it, and then go to like about where it was, and then have to watch it buffer again.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
My internet was so like I was using dial-up back then, so I didn't even have
I don't
the
even know
speed.
what my neighbor had because I never really talked to them. I just stole their internet.
Apparently good enough to watch anime with.
Yeah, I mean it was a big ass antenna.
Oh my
Oh man, I
gosh.
remember the day where they put a password on their Wi-Fi and it like completely broke me for a little bit. And so
It
I was
crushed you.
like a crackhead, I was putting in random passwords until I was like, oh my god, I wonder if it's 123, and it was, and I was like, not today, I'm taking your internet again.
It
Oh
legit was
man,
1, 2, 3.
it was 12345
It was something basic basically.
basic, yeah, whatever the default was.
They were like, why is our internet so slow? Probably people be stealing our internet. We need to put a basic password on this.
I I mean, I bet they didn't know.
Oh my gosh.
They probably called to call their provider so many times to complain.
Because the internet was slow. I mean, internet back then was so like it was the Wild West
Yeah, it
basically.
was a luxury.
Yeah, it was a very big luxury. Like, um, I think now they're trying to make internet like a what do you call it? Like a mandatory like need kind of like water and electricity and stuff like that.
Definitely, because
Like a
for
basic
poor people,
necessity.
if they like, it's super expensive. I think they want to give at least DSL to people. I don't even know if they've done that in a lot of places.
I think that's the reason why I'm so hyped about Starlink. Like if they follow through with their plan and give basic internet to everyone, I think it's gonna be great. Like even if like the basic internet is like 1 megabit per per person or whatever, how
Wasn't it
fast like
like ranging from 60 to 150 in the videos where people did tests of it, like the
yeah yeah
beta
but that
test?
yeah but that's when they have their own satellites and that's when they're owning their own internet.
Oh,
I
you
think
just mean
how
internet in general, like a DSL connection or something like that.
I think how Starlink might do it is that they might um host like public Starlink connections like in certain areas. Like let's say like in the city they'll put up a bunch of public uh public satellites to where like the whole city will get free internet, but it'll only be like 1 megabit a second. But that's enough for people like let's say like
Pay
um
bills, do
pay
homework.
bills or look up jobs because nowadays it's very hard to do anything without the internet, like especially when you're trying to fill out forms and stuff like that. You A lot of them require you to get on a certain site to do to put in your name, put in an email, stuff like that. So
Yeah, and it costs
um
like $150 for some of these providers, or even more.
yep. I Okay, so I think Starlink is starting out as at $100, which I think is it's a fair price. It's a fair price, especially when you're getting 100 megabits.
Right.
Like if you look at other
They
other
make you get bundled cable with it because it's
oh yeah.
cheaper with cable. Oh my, and they upcharge you if you're only getting the internet. Man, it's freaking companies, the worst.
Yeah, like if you look at HughesNet, you're paying like maybe 150 $200 for like maybe a 10 megabit connection at most, and it's not going to be very stable. Because you're only gonna get like maybe one or two satellite connections. Starlink plans to launch like thousands and thousands of satellites to where you'll always be connected to six satellites at a time, because they're gonna be rotating the Earth so fast, but you're always gonna be connected to six satellites and you're always gonna have that stable connection. And when they did the test for it, the ping was very good. It was only like between 20 ping to 40 ping, which is very good for gaming. It's extraordinary for gaming. Um, so I I can't wait until Elon rules rules the space cloud and
Oh, you
like
can
give
tell he's like extreme kakegurui or whatever anime shirt he usually wears.
oh yeah. I think he's ready for like you know it's about to get real because I've been reading on the news that all these ISP providers are like getting ready to battle him, like getting ready to say like,
Go to court.
people yeah, like go to court and just say like people don't need fast internet. I'm like, get the hell out of here. I I want to, like everyone arguing that people don't need fast internet. Anyone arguing against that should be like uh cuddled to like a 1 megabit connection
Oh, I bet.
for like the
That's
for like the next year,
I
and
hate
then
that the
they will
most, man. Shitty internet, it's the worst.
exactly like they should be cuddled to a 1 megabit connection, and then they can argue, for or against if people need faster internet because to your standard, what is like a minimum requirement, like would be good internet for you?
I mean, that's so hard for you because like I've been at least at a bare minimum, like for bad internet, 50 megabits per second. Was it megabits or megabytes? I forget.
It's megabits.
Okay, so megabits, 50 megabits per second. Because man, let me tell you, 10 is awful. You can't
Really?
really
No,
do anything.
I think you can do a lot with 10. 10 is
Streaming
honest.
is
No, no,
not
you can
fun.
stream with 10. You can stream with
I've
10.
I've streamed with 10 for many a years and it was bad.
Really? I think
It
you can
was
stream
slow
with
for me.
probably 1 megabit. You can stream fairly fine with 1 megabit.
With
Yeah,
today's anime though, file sizes are a lot bigger. I don't it'll
I'm not saying you're gonna be streaming in 1080p. You could probably stream just fine with 480 or 240 or whatever. But like it's still streamable with 1 megabit. It's
anything
when you
to
get
get that hit.
right. I think it's sub 1 megabit. It's when you're starting to get that. Like there's no way you could stream with like 500 kilobits or 250 kilobits or whatever the ungodly speed you get with the dial-up connection.
Oh jeez.
Oh
So
my gosh.
going back to, childhood animes,
Yeah, yeah,
which
yeah.
ones mostly did you watch?
Just whatever they aired on like Adult Swim and Toonami and stuff
You
like that.
never watched like Fox Kids or Kids WB?
Oh yeah, like they I really did enjoy like a lot of their cartoons. Like what was it? Metabots, Beyblade, Yu-Gi-Oh! And I think they also hosted Pokemon, right?
Yeah, they did. They also, I think Fox Kids is the one that had Cardcaptor Sakura, Tokyo Mew Mew, Escaflowne, Shaman King was a huge one,
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
surprisingly. But that was at
Oh
the
I
same type as Yu-Gi-Oh, so you had to decide one or the other. Same thing for shows like Tokyo Mew Mew and Pokemon. They're at the same time.
yeah, I was so jealous of like the classmates that had like a DVI box or whatever it was called back then, where they could pre-record shows or whatever.
Oh, I had
Uh,
a VCR player and I popped the tape in and I recorded like a whole Saturday morning cartoon block sometimes when I
no, no,
wouldn't
no,
forget
but
to
like
do it.
those you actually have to like have watching at the same time. Like you'd have to be
Actually,
watching
mine
it
I
and
could
recording
just
it.
no, I could just leave it the TV turned off and it would record it somehow.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, because it's still connected to your cable box. But no, no, I'm talking about like so the DVI box I'm talking about is like you could be watching something on one channel and it could be recording something on another channel.
oh, actually, let me walk that back for a second. I didn't have a DVI box. I had a VCR player, like a VCR tape.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So I
I
would
know what you're
I
talking
would
about.
like leave the TV on and go back to sleep and then go back and watch it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like yeah, I could do that too, but I'm talking about the people who didn't have to choose between one anime or another if they're airing at the
Oh
same
yeah,
time.
I was super jealous of those.
Oh yeah, like like so regarding like kids shows like Metabots or whatever, like have you seen like the reduction of that over time? I haven't seen many like kids anime like or anime aimed specifically towards kids. Like yeah, you have like the big like shonen animes like Black Clover or I guess My Hero Academia and stuff like that. But I don't really see many animes pretty much aimed at kids nowadays. It's pretty much like yeah, it's gonna be in the kids sphere, but it's also gonna be like animes that adults will also enjoy.
Would you, when you say, anime aimed at kids, My Hero Academia, would you consider that a kid anime primarily?
Um,
I think that's made for everybody
yeah,
because
I
it's
would
a
say that's more.
shonen.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think that's made for more for everybody. Like so would Black Clover, that's what I'm saying is like you don't really see much of that type of anime anymore. Like when was like the last type of anime aired specifically for kids?
I
Um,
mean, like I, She Sweet Home sticks out like a sore thumb. Uh, Kuma Bear Cafe, or was it Shiro Panda Cafe, the one with all the animals that talk and
uh,
work at a
yeah, but
zoo?
I don't think it's really it's more like aimed towards like the moe kind of watchers, but I don't think like kids would really like maybe
Oh,
some
that
kids
was not
would.
Moe. Those were just, realistic animals,
Oh,
living
really?
life. It was kind of like an animal slice of life, if anything, with the comedy in it.
Do you think kids would like Animal Slice of Life? I don't know.
Yeah, those
I I
definitely like very family friendly.
I think as a kid I really enjoyed like the fighting type animes like Beyblade. Beyblade
Up
was the
up to
shit
like
back
what
then,
age are
dude.
you considering kid?
Uh, maybe eight,
Okay.
eight, and then after eight, you go into your like your kind of like mid phase where you enjoy stuff like Bleach and Naruto and stuff like
Well, I
that.
don't know about, Japanese kids, but I know us American kids, we got all the edgy stuff thrown at us. So
Oh yeah,
I guess in that way I could consider My Hero Academia, but they have blood and, death stuff like that in it. I wouldn't.
right.
It's
Like
on the fine line. It would get heavily censored back then if it was
I
on
guess
TV.
yeah, like I guess what I would consider like a kid's anime stuff like would be marketable for toys.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, like what was the last marketable toy anime you've actually seen?
Definitely Yokai Watch, I want to say, because that one's huge.
Yeah, and how old is that? Like probably 4 or 5 years old, right?
Feels like it. Like if you just search up top uh, kids shows, most of them are old. Just going off of what I saw in my anime list a little bit ago.
Yeah, like it's I feel like kids these days they don't have a lot of kids anime, but I think they're being spoiled for what they can watch because there's lots of good animes that a
The
kid can
giant,
watch.
you're born into a giant backlog.
Oh yeah, it's I would kill to have what they're getting
Like really, it would
nowadays.
be. I think it would be just fine for them to watch One
I
Punch
mean
Man.
I
Do you?
mean even yeah, I mean One Punch Man it's does it? I don't think it has blood, right? I think they censored that. Like, there's no blood.
You could censor it. You could definitely censor for a children's block. Like
Oh yeah.
monster blood isn't a big deal. Punching through a monster's insides, not really a big deal because you would always do that with shows like Power Ranger back in the day.
Oh yeah, yeah. Most definitely. I think for Power Rangers, I think they did have like blood for like maybe the monsters or something. If I
I
or
mean, they got destroyed and you had people in buildings getting killed all the time. So
right. Oh yeah. You know what? They didn't have blood. You know what they had instead of blood?
what?
They had magical sparks.
Oh yeah,
And
definitely.
everything it hit, sparks would come out.
Yeah, they would just
That's
like
so weird.
car battery sparks,
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Oh my gosh. I think. Hmm. I think like kids nowadays like if they do if when they're growing up in this type of generation and they're watching anime I think they can always rewatch like the backlog of animes back then like if like for a kid I think you could say like you could they could probably be satisfied with like the first like 4 seasons of just Pokemon by itself.
Definitely, and they always release more of it. Like
Oh yeah, like it's never ending. Like you have so much Pokemon now. You could probably watch Pokemon and not finish it until you're like in your teens or something like that.
yeah, it would be hard to make you know, a show like Yokai Watch or actually isn't Gegege no Kitaro super focused to kids? Do you know how big that sells in Japan?
I don't
Or
even
if
know
they
what
have
that
a
is.
lot of toys? It's basically I like watched a few episodes. A bunch of yokai spirits. I wouldn't be able to correctly describe it. That's how
It's so
little I watched it.
it's basically like Yokai Watch.
I mean, a different with a different hat on, sure.
You know what I think is weird is that like how yokai like how big Yokai Watch got, but like
I never
the
expected that.
but the theme of Yokai Watch is mainly like Japanese oriented because like that's where most of the the ghost stories or whatever, like most ghost stories, like uh, I'm guessing for Yokai Watch is like based in like the Japanese realm, and then I don't know how well it transfers over to like the American or nation
It's
like
it
national.
translates just fine. I've seen a lot of elementary school kids with like yokai watches on their wrist actually.
I mean yeah, because they watch the show and then they buy the merch for it, but
Right.
I'm just saying like I just feel like it doesn't really transfer over well. Like when you're watching like an anime and they have like puns or whatever like that's specifically like aimed towards the Japanese community, and you kind of don't know what they're talking about unless the translator puts like a translator note on it.
So yeah, you don't have to worry about that when they dub it because they could just change it to whatever.
Oh yeah, that makes
The mouth
sense.
movements are a lot more simpler, aren't they? Because it's a simple cartoon
No, but I'm not talking about like dubbing or anything. I'm just talking about like like the background to like a lot of the ghosts. Like if you think about it, like Japanese, like the Tengu and the umbrella ghost, like that's mostly Japanese. That's all Japanese lore being transferred to a national audience, which I think is an awesome thing that like Japanese history and Japanese
culture,
culture is being spread around the world. And I think it's
mythology.
awesome.
Yeah,
That's
I
awesome.
I don't see why it would be a problem. It's just like showing a kid a new Pokemon monster.
I
It's just a
Yeah, I
monster to
guess.
them. They don't know the background history. Imagine if Bugs Bunny actually had a whole mythology around him when he was first shown. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, I guess.
The god of
I mean,
death,
it's a.
Shinigami
I mean,
Bugs
it's.
Bunny. Oh,
I guess it's just like kids toys, like kids anime to sell kids toys. So maybe just going too deep into that. But I'm just talking about like the translation between like one thing to another because like do you remember any animes back then where it didn't really make sense because it was like aimed towards like the Japanese community and they're trying to like okay. So I'm talking about like
the
Pokemon.
most foreign thing in my childhood cartoon viewing was probably the Mew Mew Power or Escaflowne. I straight up did not watch Escaflowne.
Um,
It looked too weird
like
to me. Like I don't know. I'd rather watch Yu-Gi-Oh on Kids WB. I always had to make
right.
that. That was my hard decision.
But I mean, those two animes are aimed towards girls, though.
I always watched Tokyo Mew Mew over whatever they had on the other show. The
Really?
opening was a banger, and it was right
That's
after
that's
Cardcaptor
how I felt.
Sakura.
Yeah, that's how I felt about Card Capture Secure.
Then
I
they
really like the
immediately
opening.
switched over to Kids WB because the Men in Black opening was also very good, and it's still
I
good to this day.
forgot Men in Black had an animated series.
It was super good.
Oh yeah, it was very well animated.
I mean, it's not
Yeah,
Japanese anime, but it had its own flavor. And they also
yeah.
had the Extreme Ghostbusters, which was in the same, having an
Time slot.
amazing opening. No, it was usually I would come home from kindergarten and watch that on.
Kindergarten, Jesus.
Yeah, dude, it's a fucking long time ago.
Dude, for a kid that didn't have cable, you sure watched a lot of TV.
Dude, they were super generous with cartoons back in the day, and then they slowly destroyed the cartoon block, starting with, Fox Kids fell first, then it was UPN in Houston, and then finally they only did 1 hour of cartoons. So it was like 2 episodes of, you know, Pokemon back to back, followed by 2 episodes of what was that show with? I think Eight Simple Rules or something like that, with that guy
well,
that was in the Blues Brothers that died.
did you have like satellite TV or
No, dude. I
antenna TV is whatever
no,
it's
I
called?
it was an antenna.
Antenna. Okay,
But I
antenna
lived in a
TV.
major city, so there was a lot.
Very, very generous with their antenna TV, huh?
Super generous.
I think what was it like maybe 8 years ago that they cut off antenna TV?
Yeah, I was, you know,
It was a while
now
back.
you have those digital boxes, and it's just not the same. It's not the
Oh
same
yeah.
magic.
Honestly, like we're living in a generation where people don't watch TV anymore. They watch everything online.
Yeah,
It's
you
the
can just
YouTube
stream it.
era.
Yeah.
Yes, the YouTube era. Like, do you remember watching like after like the janky anime phase, do you remember watching like anime on like YouTube, and they always cut it into like multiple parts because
Three
YouTube had like
parts.
a
Yep.
yeah,
Yeah.
YouTube had like a 10 minute upload
No,
limit.
I didn't even watch on YouTube. I watched on VO. Did you
The
ever
janky
watch on
like
that one?
uh let me try to remember what my trying. I don't think I really watched much anime on the internet because I didn't have good internet till my high
Oh,
school.
here's another one. Did you watch on Crunchyroll before it was a legit site, when it was a pirate site?
I remember hearing about it, but I my internet was not made for streaming.
Oh
I'm just telling
man.
you that. I did not have
Let me tell you, dude. I watched XXX Holic. How do you even say the name of that show? The
I
one
think
made
I
by
think most
Clamp,
people just I think most people just call it triple X holic.
probably. So I
Yeah.
watched that on there. That was the first anime that I watched on that website. Oh man, those are good memories. I remember Gundam
Uh,
00 was the first show that they officially got, and that was the
Officially,
only show. Yeah, they like completely purged their database. They had nothing. Everybody's like, "Oh, this fucking thing is dead. I'm moving to the when whatever pirate site's up at this time."
right. Yeah, I remember hearing about it, and I I never got into Crunchyroll. I don't know why. I just never got into Crunchyroll. Um, like as a streaming media because I just felt like like pirated sites like pirated sites are just way better. It's just way better to go with because
Yeah.
there's no ads, there's no B-rolls or any of that in between. But now that Crunchyroll now that they're owned by Sony, oh gosh,
Oh man. Dude, let me tell
they
you,
have that
back then
resource.
they were ridiculed really hard. I remember being such a fanatic of that site. It's like, oh my god, I'm in it with you guys. I'm a ride or die for Crunchyroll. And like I saw their investor video to where people were talking shit about how can a company that's been illegally obtaining their licenses and gaining monetary you know compensation from it without paying a dime to the creator able to make a profitable
Right,
business. And like freaking they showed them.
right. I think they went in the way with Faku too, right? That's how Faku got started.
Do people still use that site?
Oh yeah, it's a big site. Faku is still like one of the probably the only paid. I wouldn't say only, but like probably the biggest like paid doujinshi site.
In
I
America, I don't know what they have in Japan.
Yeah, they probably have something different in Japan, but it's translated. I think they pay their translators and all that good stuff too. Um, but I think they started out as a pirated site and then they transitioned over to a paid license site. So I think that's good, but man, the acquisition of Crunchyroll, it just blows my mind.
When did
It
that happen? How soon ago? Long
like
ago?
two, maybe 3 weeks ago,
Oh
as of
jeez.
this recording. So very like it just happened,
I
and
remember Sony used to have, didn't they used to stream Funimation on their PlayStations?
oh, they still have Funimation. So I think Sony's trying to acquire like as much anime as possible because they know that it's big, and they're gonna make a lot of
It's
money off of it.
mainstream, dude. When you have people like Megan the Stallion and freaking Rusev from WWE watching it, and like Xavier
Oh yeah,
Woods,
yeah,
champion it. You have freaking Elon Musk wearing what was her name? Jubei from Kakegurui shirt.
right.
You that's the money maker. It's
I think
undeniable.
right. I think the thing is that um the anime it's its own thing now because there's so many anime. There's something for everyone. You can't say like,
Oh yeah,
oh, I don't like.
absolutely.
You can't outright say I don't like anime. It's like, because there's just so much of it.
You can't outright say there's no good isekai because there's just so many of them.
There's so many. There's
So
like just saying like you would have to be hard like unless you're a type of person that doesn't like to watch video media and just likes to read, then yeah, you can do manga or you can do light novels. There there's like literally like when if you reject anime like overall, you're rejecting like a big portion of
it's
like
storytelling, man. It's like,
yes,
why would you
books
not
and
watch a movie?
yeah, exactly. I feel like you're losing out on a lot of a lot of media if you just kind of reject it overall.
It's
Um,
definitely a lot more socially acceptable than
right,
when we
right,
were growing up, because people back then did not watch it.
right. Yeah. I think okay. So once I got into high school, we actually got real internet. Oh my God, I watched so much anime, and you were talking about Triple X Holic. I remember watching that anime kind of. I don't know. I can remember it because the art style was so distinct. Like
The
it was
noodle
just the
arms.
yeah, like noodle arms, like they're extra tall.
Yeah, I really like that. I don't know. It felt, you know, like it
Do
had
you
its own
remember what
flavor.
it's about?
Freaking yokai watch, dude. Adult
Was it?
yokai watch. Nah,
I could
I remember there was a lot of. I don't remember what it was so long ago, but there was a lot of spirits and stuff like that.
I could not tell you a damn thing about what it was about. But
I could tell you the character design was freaking awesome. You should
oh
just
yeah, they
watch it
had
based on that alone. It was a good enough
yeah
show to where I saw all the spin-offs and everything.
yeah. But I mean, like now that I think about it, like for how minimal, like how like if you like when we're talking about seasonal animes, right? But back then there really wasn't that much of a seasonal anime type of thing. Like we got maybe around like 20 animes a year or something like that. Like
Are
anime
you
wasn't
sure?
like
It definitely felt like, probably because we weren't tapped into knowing the schedule of releases.
I probably that, but also
Because
like
they definitely had seasons back then for Japan.
yeah, but like they we didn't get that many that came overseas is what I'm
No,
saying.
because we had to rely on the mercy of fan subbers, dude.
Yeah, fan subbers and basically like no Crunchyroll back then, so
Yeah,
basically it's whatever the fan subbers would bring out, and then keep in mind there wasn't really like a big fan service subbing thing, probably
community.
until the
Dude, I
yeah community.
remember messaging the one of the fan subbers for the Gray Man because they're like a few episodes behind. Oh, I was so cringe, dude. Oh, I don't even want to talk about how I typed back then.
Was it like super edgy?
No, it was like, oh, Kami-sama type of stuff.
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Please give like a crackhead trying to get another hit of that
We're
sweet
trying to do
sweet
like
anime.
like
It's like,
the
oh my
the
god, I'm so behind. I need to know what happens. I don't want to read the manga.
were you doing like the crappy like Spanglish?
Yeah, and it was
Oh
like
my
what? They
god!
were like what? And it's like, oh my god, I still think about that sometimes. I was like, oh please no,
Oh Nichan Des, when my anime come out?
please. It's like, yeah, dude, we're busy. We got college and stuff like that.
Oh my gosh!
Chill. And then they like released the thing like, oh, I don't even want to think about it. I feel embarrassed just, reliving the cringe.
Oh my gosh! I never knew that story. That's pretty funny. Yeah, but I feel like we were very spoiled for anime back then because they did release a lot of animes on like uh like 4Kids and Adult Swim and stuff like that. Like yeah they re like
They kept on
they
repeating a lot of the same stuff.
oh yeah they repeated a lot of stuff. Like the big stuff like Inuyasha and Cowboy Bebop and Bleach, Naruto. But I mean, we got a lot of good seasonal anime too. Like Rose and Maiden. Did you ever watch Rose and Maiden when it
Of
came out?
course, not when it came out. I marathoned it though.
Oh, like Rose and Maiden, it came out. I think it was on WB Kids or whatever. I don't recall.
Yeah,
But they had that, and then I remember. Oh my gosh, I remember um the sci-fi anime. It blew my mind because I remember I was just surfing through channels, and then I landed on the sci-fi channel, and then they had anime. I was like, what the hell is this? I think they were showing probably maybe it was Fawn, and then maybe they were also I think it was the anime was called Noir like Noir Noir or whatever. It
Noir.
was, yeah, I don't remember what the anime was about, but it had like a really good opening. I love the opening for that
Oh man,
anime.
I remember a lot of the times when I would go on vacations. like to my family's house in another state, or when I went to visit my brother in New York and was there for a whole summer, I just I didn't really care about going out. I just wanted to watch that late night anime, a bracket of Toonami. I remember watching the whole freaking show of Evangelion late at night. I would even watch it on the replay. That's how much I really loved it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was like the first like hardcore like probably not before Yu Yu Hakusho, but I don't recall ever getting Yu Yu Hakusho as a kid.
I
Um,
never cared for it. I didn't. I missed a lot of that.
I don't recall. I don't think I was. I think it was probably before my time that they aired Yu Yu Hakusho.
Dude, it was before like I got access to that.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, same here.
They had a
Um,
lot of Zatch Bell and stuff like that.
oh, Zatchbell. I forgot all about Zatchbell.
Yeah, I bet you did.
It was such a janky, weird anime. What was the premise? It was just about a bunch of battling dolls, right? It was basically Pokemon but with dolls.
Nah, it was Rose and Maiden for boys. It
But
was,
I mean the premise was just about a bunch of battling
yeah.
dolls, right? Yeah.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you, dude. The only time I ever caught Zatch Bell was when I would go to Cece's Pizza and they would have it muted with closed captioning on in the corner of the restaurant. But by the way, Cece's Pizza is this cheap buffet that used to have a decent arcade inside of it. Uh,
Oh,
yeah, all you can
dude,
eat pizza.
I remember because you took me there. You said, "Dude, we have to go to Cece's." I was like, "What's a Cece's?"
Oh my god, dude!
I remember.
All the TVs had were green because of the magnets next to the speakers of the TV.
Janky,
You super
janky.
janky, dude. Super. All the pizza arcade sticks were greasy from pizza grease.
Oh yes.
Good
I mean,
times.
what I mean, I love CC's. It's like a great place for like a college kid. You only have like 6 or 7 bucks. I mean, it's a buffet pizza place, so
Yeah, I
you
haven't
just
been
go
there in like
ham.
over a decade.
Oh yeah, it's I don't think I think the quality's kind of crap now for what it is. But I mean as a college student, it was fantastic. Uh, it's hard pressed to find a decent buffet. Like I remember the first time I went to Golden Corral, I was like, oh my gosh, look at all this food you can get. And then now that I go, I was like, oh, this is some trash food.
Yeah,
Like it,
I don't step foot in buffets anymore.
yeah, you're pretty much just asking for like
Bad food.
not being able to leave your restroom for the next day. Oh my gosh. And then okay, so regarding like anime back then, real quick, um, I remember I remember like staying up real late. I wonder why they always showed anime so late, like especially like Bleach and stuff like that, like on Adult Swim. Like it was always like 1 or 2 o'clock.
I don't know. They should have done it like 7 or something like that. FMA was on back then too, like in 2014, I want to say.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Oh, what was that
I
one dot hack too? That
oh
one
I
was
loved.
wild. Watching that for the first time, just the audio of that show was delicious.
Okay, which dot hack did you see?
Oh, bro. I don't know. I think it might have
There's
been the
so
OG
many.
one.
Okay,
I was about to say
so
the girl with the green hair was in it, but I was like, oh yeah,
oh
thanks.
thanks.
Every other
You're talking
character.
about Lelouch of the Rebellion, right? Yeah, that one.
Oh my god. Yeah,
That dot hack.
some brown girl with tan lines. I
Oh, like, did she have pink armor?
Yeah,
Dude, that was not the OG. That was Twilight Bracelet, and that was one of my favorites.
no
Like, it's such a
way.
trash. It is Twilight Bracelet. It was a spin-off of the original show. Not even. I don't think it's even linked to the original show. So, Dot Hack Bracelet is about like two kids that win a contest, and they get like a special character avatar, and the special character avatars are from the original show, like the people who beat the game you
Oh,
know
that's right. I forgot about that. It was so
Yep.
hard to keep track of the story because they would only air that one on Fridays.
Right, right, right. Yeah, it was such a weird one. And I mean the anime didn't make any sense because it was a spin-off, but I loved it. I love the music. I love the Do you remember like the OST for it?
No, it was like I said, it was a very long time ago.
Okay, dude, I like the OST so much. It's like stuck in my head. It was like da da dee da da dee da da. It was just like a girl just doing that over and over. I was like, oh man, this is great. I love this. And probably if I watch it like now to this day, I probably wouldn't like it as much. I'm trying to stay away from watching it because I want to keep my memories of it. It's a great anime, and
Oh,
I
we should do that as a rewatch and then tear it apart,
oh
destroy
gosh,
your good memories.
don't make me tear apart my good memories.
Oh man,
If we do that, let's rewatch Evangelion and let me tear that apart.
I've seen it like 7 times over. I watched, the end of Evangelion like 3 times. I watched it one time with the commentator voices for the English dub actors with
They're
Tiffany
like,
Grant on them. I remember driving next to the ADV Films location, like, oh my god, that's where the magic happens.
oh wait, that was in Houston, right? I forgot.
Yeah, by Bissonnette.
Oh my
It was such
gosh.
a tiny place.
I remember I think it was like a lot of like big Houston radio was next to it too, like the Chinese and the Asian Chinese radio was kind of next to it too, right?
I don't know. I was like, I wonder what if I could go in there and get a tour, but I never got the courage to do that. I wonder if they would have just like, yeah, good, freaking take a hike, kid.
I bet you they probably greeted you just fine. Like if you just went up and asked if you can get like an autograph or something. Oh, that would have been
Nah, they
dude.
probably were like, oh no, they're not in today. That's what probably what they would have said.
No, for a kid, I think they probably try to get
No,
you
I
at
was
least.
definitely, dude, I was driving. I was like 18 or something. No, no,
No.
no way I was a kid.
Shit.
Yeah.
I mean, that would have been an awesome memory, though, huh?
Yeah, it was a good memory. Just seeing those, like, oh, it's so close, yet so far away.
Oh, oh my gosh. All right, I don't want to talk anymore about my history, or we're gonna rip it apart.
Oh my god.
Your shitty messaging to.
Oh my. Dude, with that $100 antenna for a $20 Pentium 3 computer to stream on a CRT monitor.
I did the same thing. I did the same thing with the. Okay, so not a lot of people are gonna know about this, but like back then, laptops came with like a kind of like I I would say like like a huge SD card slot, but it wasn't for SD cards. It was for like an expandable Wi-Fi card. And it's not like the Wi-Fi cards you think of today. It's not the ones that go in the computer, and it's not like the USB one.
It was
It was like
shaped
a
like
legit,
it was shaped
like
like
a
a bank
full-size
check.
credit card. Yeah,
I would say between a bank check and a credit card with a
yeah,
fat
it was
dongle on
big.
the end.
Oh yeah, it was huge. Like some of them might have a dongle, some of them might not, but yeah, they're pretty huge, and then it slides into the lap, kind of like a CD tray almost.
Yeah.
Um, and that's what gives your laptop Wi-Fi, and that thing cost me a good amount. Like I remember I bought the cheapest one, and even the cheapest one cost a lot of money, and I was like I saved up a lot of money for it
You know what the
because
irony
I
would have
want.
been? Just putting the money towards internet plan. It was probably like $12 for like OK DSL at the time.
I probably would have done that, but I mean, you'd have to talk your parents into it,
Oh yeah.
and talking your parents into like something they don't know about, it's kind of
Oh my
ridiculously hard
god. I
back then.
remember selling my dad uh the reasons why I should buy a Nintendo DS. I was like, it's like a computer, Dad. Look, it's like a laptop. I was like, you didn't fall for that. Oh, man.
It's like these kids, like it's like the meme now where these kids were like explaining to their parents why they need like a 3080.
Oh my god, dude. Why do I need V-Bucks? It's for school. Everything was for school. Dad, I need a new toy. It's for show and tell. That's literally what I said one time. That's how I got my green
Seriously?
Turbo Ranger toy. Oh
I don't
man.
think I don't. My school never had a show and tell.
This was
Um,
like pre-K or something. Like no, this was kindergarten proper.
that's pretty funny.
Yeah. Oh my god.
I yeah, like I saved some good money for that, and that thing. Okay, like the premise, it's just like a Wi-Fi, like a Wi-Fi USB, and our house didn't even have Wi-Fi, so the only time I could use it when we go to the library. So I did have to like So the library had like limited amount of computers. Like I'm talking maybe about
Yeah.
six computers, and you'd have to sign up for it, and you get like a time slot. But if you had your own laptop, you could just sit at one of the tables. So that's what I did. And that's that's how I got a lot of my anime. Is
You
just
know what
going
would
to.
be the struggle for kids today, like we had it back then? Having to tether your computer to like a 4G on your phone with like 1 or 2 bars.
Oh,
That's
first world problems.
yeah, that's what it would be like.
Oh my gosh, Elon, please save us soon.
Save
Please
us.
get the Starlink. Yeah,
Do it
for
for the fledgling
save us
weebs.
save us from Comcast. Save us from AT&T. Save us from. I'm like, he's like the Attack on Titan form we never knew we needed.
Oh my god, it's the legislation can't reach in space, bruh.
I'm higher than legislation. I'm in space. I you know what would be really funny if he just like if they're arguing with him, it's like, yeah, but I will unveil my master plan. All these satellites I've been shooting up into space, they're not just internet satellites. They also have laser beams in them.
Oh man, take apart all the competitors. Slowly take
Oh
them
my!
apart just to like give priority to Crunchyroll and stuff like that.
I'm gonna shoot my 5G gigahertz laser
Oh,
at your
shoot to
at your
whoop.
headquarters. Oh my gosh! All right, I'm
Oh
done
yeah,
talking about this.
yeah.
You have anything else you want to talk about?
No, I'm just dying reliving some cringe moments.
All right. All right. We'll catch you guys later. See you.
Later.